because I'd had enough of my brain and not being able to think properly, and the trauma and everything that went with it. I'd had enough. I'd not long lost my daughter. She was killed last November. The trauma from that. And I couldn't work everything out of my brain properly. I was trying to work through that. But then there was all the trauma of her being a narcissist, which wasn't her fault. But her brother and sister, with all the trauma of that, my ex-husband, and going through the trauma of 34 years of abuse. And I got to the stage and it was, I couldn't function properly. I felt, I truly didn't want to be here anymore. And that is the God's honest truth. I just had enough. And I got to the stage where I sat there and thought, you know what? It's time. It's time that you sorted this out. So hence I came to you. Oh my God, I've been to bloody counselling for years. I actually went to one counsellor, and she was actually a sex relationship counsellor, and she said to me that I had to go and see her once a week. She would write everything down, and at the end of the sessions, then I would have to read it all and then throw it all away. So then everything was out of my head, and anything else after that was put into a little box and put in the back of my head. And eventually I would deal with it. I didn't. Eventually all of that came, and it just came straight the way. It wasn't like a little tiny box. It was just a big, massive bloody parcel. And it all came in one go. And I've been to different counsellors, and why on earth they make you relive it all constantly when you're trying to forget it and trying to deal with it, but they just want you to relive it. And then they sit there, oh, it's time now, see you later. And you're left again with all of that trauma. And I'd done that for years, and I couldn't be doing with it anymore. I just had enough. So hence I came to you. To be fair, I've actually been hypnotized before. I done it for smoking about 7 years ago, to be fair. And it didn't really work. Even though he gave me DVDs, to watch and stuff, so I could go back on it. It didn't really work. And I was expecting you to put me under hypnosis sort of thing, you know, when they use the bloody pendulum thing and put you under hope. That's exactly what you expect, isn't it? And it didn't happen. And then when you started talking to my hand, I was like, hang on. This is not what you're expecting. But then when my hand started twitching, because obviously talking to my subconscious, I was sitting there thinking, hang on, this is mental. But after my first session, I started to be feeling better, and I could feel a difference. So yeah, what you've done for me has helped me immensely. It truly has. Exhilarating, because I was so downtrodden, and I could feel the trauma. I could feel the trauma in my heart, and I was so angry and upset, and I hated everybody. And now that trauma, well, I remember the first time when you asked me what it was like, and I said to you it was like an oval shape, but it was pitch black, and I kept on, it was throbbing for me to come into it. That is now gone, and now I feel exhilarated. Yeah, that's the only word what I can use. Exhilarated. I feel on top of the world. I feel so much better within myself, and so much lighter. And I feel as though now I can actually accomplish anything, to be fair. I know how to deal with things from now on. And now that I know how to talk to my hand, talk to my Nigel, then yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. That's the first time I've been happy in such a long time. Oh, peace, absolute peace. And just knowing that I can now have a proper, even though my girl's gone, I now totally understand exactly what's happened. And I can now remember all of the good times with her and now have the relationship, now have the relationship with her in her spiritual realm. It's like, since I've been doing this, I can now hear her talking to me. I can actually hear her voice. And before it was like I could hear the buzzing in my ears. I knew she wanted to talk to me. And now all of the trauma and all of that's gone. I can now hear her voice. And it's like now I can actually talk to her. And even though, as I say, she's not here, it's a relief knowing that I can still hear her. That's mental, isn't it?
Mm-mm.
I know what I mean. To be honest, if people are reluctant, then they're not at the right stage to do it, because you've got to be 100% committed to do this. People seem to think as though therapy is going to last for years. And this has lasted, what, 5 sessions? And that in itself should make people want to do it. So if anybody's having doubts, don't have doubts, just go and do it, because it's the best thing that you could ever do for yourself, ever. To love myself and to accept that what's happened has happened and there's absolutely nothing what I could have done about it. But yeah, to love myself and to actually like myself and to stop feeling so guilty. What you've done for me is absolutely amazing. And I truly, truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.